Okay, so hi everybody. Hi. I am the founder of MHP Mental Health Peace, and I do not like this filter. Okay, this one's like aesthetic. So, again, I am Akriti, and I've done my bachelor's in Amity Gurgaon. I have done my master's in Amity Dubai, and I have done a lot of diplomas from UK from an open school. And today we have Sanskriti, our senior psychologist, with us. Introduction about Sanskriti, I would say she has been with MHP literally since the start. Is my ride or die anytime, be it 4 a.m., be it 5 a.m., or be it 12 p.m. I think Sanskriti has always been so active and so readily and so passionate about things. So I think it comes with a lot of emotions to introduce her. Miss Heena ma'am is another senior psychologist who got connected with us via our Bingo Summit, which was India's largest mental health summit that we did, which was virtual, and so on and so forth. She has been so energetic. Even I don't have that kind of energy with me. Without further ado, till Heena ma'am joins, okay.
Hello, guys.
Without further ado, today we are going to address things about harassments on psychologists. I think it has been a very sad part about how people are misusing therapy, how they are misusing therapists. They are reaching out in the name of sexual disorders or just sex, or just for the name of harassing people. So my first question to Miss Heena is, what according to you is actually harassment?
See, harassment, Akriti, in general terms, when we say somebody is harassing someone, you are invading their boundaries, you are just, touching them inappropriately, passing some comments or anything, right? Just entering into their territory, anyhow. But when it comes to our profession, the therapist, like you said, they come with that, that mask. Sexual disorder, sexual orientations related doubt, ma'am. It is like, we have these issues and we thought you are the right person, but it ended up like, they want to do those things during the sessions, and they especially ask for female therapist. This is
Right.
in a way a harassment, because we have so many male professionals out there, but their demands are clear. They want to harass.
And Sanskriti, how about you? What are your perspectives on it?
So, harassment is basically any unwanted sexual, verbal, psychological, emotional advances or comments or behaviors that people encounter. And why we're talking about this today is because, as therapists, we try so hard to raise mental health awareness and ask people to come to therapy to seek help. And harassment is what it's doing to our field is like it's scaring off the clients from seeking therapy. It's scaring off the therapist from providing therapy. And this is why we have to talk about this in both the perspectives on how to prevent it and how to manage it, especially. Yeah.
Okay, so as we all know that World Mental Health Day is coming, and the theme is about workplace. So I wanted a little bit of perspective from Heena ma'am about the workplace harassment that is going on, and especially when we talk about online settings, and in a perspective of therapists as well.
Yeah. So when we talk about workplace mental health, mental wellness, basically how we pursue that, we talk about mental health day, we talk about coffee breaks, we talk about this, that, but what about online practice? Especially we mental health professional, when we do online practice, we don't know who the other person is behind the screen, who is going to come. Like if somebody connected with us through discovery call, through DMs or something, and they book a session, and then in therapy session actually someone else is showing up, we don't know, we're not sure about it, even in spite of background check. So it hampers our mental wellness while practicing and while doing this online work. And as Sanskriti said, we're trying so hard to spread mental health awareness, but these things are actually creating a hindrance, a boundary between seeking help for the people out there and as well as impacting our mental health in a very worse manner.
Okay, so my question towards Sanskriti is that we know that clients sometimes specifically ask for females. Now, what I feel is that it's not wrong or unethical to do so, because mostly people come from a lot of stereotypes. They feel that females are more empathetic, females are more giving, loving, and females are more fit to be psychologists. And I think that's another debate that we should be doing. But
Right.
when does that become a red flag?
Yeah, so we have seen this a lot that so as practitioners, we are taught to deal with all the clients, like any age, gender, anyone. But from the client's perspective, they will choose someone that they are very comfortable with. So it starts with their upbringing, it starts with their culture, and a lot of things like if they are more prone to listen to the authority figure who is a female, then they would choose a female therapist. Or if they are prone to, the patriarchal uh, analogy, then they will look for male therapist. So I get the point from the client's perspective, but what's happening these days is men specifically, I'm not naming, it's not just men who's doing this, but basically like a lot more a number. Men are looking specifically for female therapists just so that they can harass them, which is the theme of today's IG life. Um, so that's a red flag when they are very uh, persistent on wanting a female therapist, even though you have said that this is not my expertise, or I can't deal with your particular issue, or if I can redirect you to someone else, some other therapist. But they're very persistent that I want only you, and they don't even know your background, or the agendas don't match, but they're still very persistent. That's a red flag.
Okay, so Sanskriti, as professionals, uh, how would you convince them? And as your point of view, how will you decide when to be angry and when not to be angry? Because at the end of the day, even if we are under training for 30 years, it still comes with a lot of instincts. It still comes with so many doubts when we know that every individual is different, and handling every individual would be very, very different. It's not in the books.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think first and foremost, we do maintain professionalism as much as we can. There's a way to say whatever you want to say, but definitely put your boundaries first. Um, just all we can do as a therapist is psychoeducate them about what's right, what's wrong, what our expertise is, what we can help them with. Um, and ask them what their concerns are. And if you think that there are red flags, then call them out. Don't You can't let these things happen just in the name of professionalism. That's not right. uh, Akriti and I have had the misfortune of being called out on LinkedIn about a post where they said that, don't call them out. We have to maintain confidentiality and everything. So confidentiality is only and only valid until there's harm to yourself or to others. So, if we think that there might be possible harm, so harassment in this case, then we can break the confidentiality clause. So, yeah, in the name of professionalism, maintain your boundaries, psychoeducate them, and definitely refer them to someone who's more eligible, or who can take on the clients.
I
Okay,
feel
Hina ma'am,
that
what do you? Yeah.
when clients come to us, they keep on asking that, tell us, I want to learn sex positions from you, or I want to explore more about my sexual life. I think it's not wrong about talking about sex openly. It's very, very good that people are opening up, but perhaps they should be referred to a sexologist at the end of the day. Now, Hina, maybe we have referred to them. What if the client still persists? What if the client keeps calling you, keeps harassing you with different IDs and numbers? What do you do at the end of the day?
See, Akriti, what as a men's mental health expert, I would say here, I try to maintain my calm till the time I can, till the time when they are not invading my boundaries, they are not entering too much into what you do, or okay, I want to do this session with you, आप ही चाहिए मैम specifically, and नहीं किसी और से session नहीं लेना है. Do I give them number of sexologists? I have a list of psychiatrists. I give them. I tag them in my stories as well. But when they are not understanding, even after this also, then I call out them, then I report them. Maybe, one of my trainees experienced it day before, yesterday also, after we decided to do this. Then I immediately shut that session off, and we have to be, little more observant in these things when they are trying to do something not appropriate during the sessions, because we can't entertain too many calls, too many messages, too many when they are doing it, like you said, from different IDs. आइडिया हो जाता है, हम लोगों को पता लग जाता है, तो it's there and then we need to decide and call them out. And this is very right you have done, and you have decided to do this with us, and I'm really glad that we are doing this. At least some people will, open their senses and now be aware that okay, this is the high time, we need to talk about it, we need to address it, and I'm not scared to do this at all.
I mean, I really want people to be more empowered today that, you know what, you have the rights. You know that you can break confidentiality in 3
Yes.
cases. You can break it when there is a minor, you can break it when they are a harm to yourself or themselves, or you can break it when usually it's about suicidal cases. So I think this is I want this to be a pep talk for everybody that don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it only to your social media. Go to the right people. Get your justice. I know the justice system is not really good in India. It takes you a lot of time, but don't lose hope. If I got it, if Sanskriti got it, I think you can get it too.
Right.
But my another set of conundrum is that, when it's online, it is still manageable. You still have the right to close that laptop, close the camera, report it. But it gets very, very difficult when you're handling clients with a physical sexual harassment. I know one of our team members had the unfortunate experience where the client just came, he was having schizophrenia, and he started masturbating right in front of her in an offline setting. So, which of you can tell us about the clinical settings where they don't even have enough manpower to put certain restraints?
See, what I believe is, in that scenario, we must have informed cops. We must have this facility within our, area, that okay, if something like this happen in my offline practice, I'll call you guys and you have to be there. Because that is the first thing we can do. As you said, the justice system in our country is not that much good, but still, you'll at least get that guy off your settings, off your, office or something, because you don't have manpower, you can't do anything, then you're helpless. And that is what they take advantage of, which they should at least, maybe nowadays we have cameras everywhere. I think that is again killing the confidentiality thing, but we have to record this thing. We have to, even if we do it on our phone, for that matter, to keep that proof with us that okay, this is something happened with me or my team member.
Right. It comes as Malika. Yeah, actually, outside India, every hospital has an emergency button, even in the psychologist's room. Whenever they feel that the client is not going to be very respectful towards you, it's going to be an aggressive situation, they are fully allowed to press that button. The staff from hospital comes, they either put them on anesthesia or they just put them on restraints depending on the situation, but it becomes more humanitarian in that case. So I have security guards.
What if someone can't afford security guards? We don't earn that much in this field, you know that.
See, even in a hospital, I still would say throwing someone out is not the right way to
Solution.
go. It's like the learning comes from fairy tales where, maybe the evil queen and Snow White. Snow White would never choose the killing option or the hard, the easy option just like that. You know what? I'd rather just throw them. Maybe putting them with the right people.
Yes.
When we talk about jails, giving them punishments and putting them maybe in solitary, this and that, torturing them seems like an easier option. The counseling part is the difficult one. With that, are there any personal experiences or stories that you've heard you would like to share with people so that they are aware of what not to pick?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and share our recent encounter. Yeah, this client, not gonna name names apparently, came to me from an Instagram account. So one red flag was zero posts, some 100, 200 followers, and logged like no activity on the account. He DM'd me that whether I provide counseling. I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, okay, how can you give me a private session instead of from the company? I was like, I can't do that. That's not allowed. Second red flag. Um, then, yeah, then we did the consent forms. I got a signature. I got everything documented. Uh, so then he kept texting and calling before the session and refused to pay for the session before as well. He's like, I'll pay after. And even with the consent forms, he's like, I can't read English, so I can't sign. So Akriti and I are like, we're like, okay, we'll just translate it in Hindi for you. That's not a problem. So we got it signed anyway. And so cut to the session. Uh, it's on Google Meets, right? So I switch on the session. The client is sitting shirtless, and he's like, and I informed him that this is not allowed. He's like, oh, there's no electricity, and I have a drug problem. I'm addicted to marijuana, and it gives me hot flashes. I was like, whatever the reason, you can't do that. It's written in the consent form. But he still did that, continued it. I was like, fine, whatever, let's see. So he is talking to me about sex very openly and in very disgusting language. So sex, but in Hindi and in very elaborative manner. And he's talking about LGBTQ issues. He's talking about masturbation. He's talking about abuse. Very important, sensitive topics, but in a very disgusting manner, in very detail. And even after telling him that he can't use those specific words that are very uh, offensive, he still continued to do it and tried to manipulate me, saying that I already asked you like whether I can talk about sex or not. I was like, yeah, you can talk about it. There's a manner to talk about it. But yeah, so this happened, and 30 minutes into the session, I think I try to maintain my professionalism and try to see if there's actually a paraphilia, which is a sexual disorder behind this. Uh, then I can help, right? If it's a psychological problem. But through my intuition, through my training, I understood that it was just plain harassment. And yeah, I just cut the call. I called Akriti and told her that this happened, and she was so quick with her response. She just told me like she'll handle it, don't worry about it. And he hadn't even paid, so I was like, Akriti, I can't talk to him again, so can you like look into this for me? And she definitely like took care of it. We filed a complaint, and yeah, there was like a whole case involved. So actually, do you remember this whole scenario?
We all
I do
remember, I think.
remember
Yeah.
because I was literally in Dubai at the time. I was volunteering for a sports fest and it was right in the middle of scoring all of it because I had to be very quick about scoring that particular match as well. And I received your call and I just put someone in charge. I was like, even if you're sloppy at it, just do it right now. But Hina ma'am, do you have any personal experience or any story that you feel very concerning and people should know about it?
See, thankfully, I didn't got into the sessions one to one like this, like Sanskriti have experienced. You have experienced. The recent experience of trainee was there, but before that, when I talk to people on Discovery Call or maybe in DMs, they do their bullshit. Like, okay, we want this session with you, etc. and all. But when I sense it there and then, I shut them off there because what they take this advantage is, oh, you are working on men's mental health, you can talk to us, you're so you're so open about these topics and all. I said no, I never said I am open about these, and I am not going to take any man into the session who's just willing to come for talking about sex and everything. I can refer to you, refer you to some professional, some experts. I never take it to my sessions. Thankfully, I maybe due to experience, due to learnings, due to trainings, so many years. So I sense it there and then, and I just cut them off there.
Uh, I mean, I cannot even begin. Most of the people in the life are because of the story I shared
Yes.
about me. Uh, yeah, I am angry, I am pissed, and I am not sorry about it. The dude just asked me to masturbate on my
Yes.
voice. No, I'm not comfortable with it. I am not okay with it. And I'm definitely not gonna be very, very calm about it. Yet, we have to stay professional in such situations. So, how would you secure yourself? Yes, Hina.
Yeah. As I said earlier, take the help of judiciary system, cops, and informed, consent should be there. Confidentiality break hoti hai, hone do. You have to protect yourself. When there is no regulatory body to protect ourselves, to regulate anything for us psychologists in India, then we have to take action. We have to protect our sanity. Otherwise, we're not able to practice, हम कुछ कर ही नहीं पाएंगे. Otherwise, how will you run your organization with so many psychologists, so many psychiatrists, so many people out there? Because you are ensuring every day to them, okay, your safety is my responsibility. So we have to take action. Na? We have to have strict rules from ourselves. I think that is the best way. And calling them out like this, maybe we'll continue this. I think I wish you should continue this, because if they will sense, like Sanskriti mentioned that account, koi activity nahi hai, nothing is there, but they are just making it up to reach out to people like us. And do you have any idea about those kind of men who just follow female therapists? I have a list of them. I have a list of them with me. Those who follow only female therapists, female psychiatrists, only females. Maybe they have an agenda. Maybe they, like we were discussing earlier, Akriti, that they decide a time zone where we would be, occupied, busy. They call and they just carry on with it, their shit. They carry on speaking those things and we'll take it because we're not able to concentrate on their call.
Yeah.
So we need to look out for all these things, and we need to just create that kind of environment where us females can work, with full of our potential without getting scared. कि भैया ऑनलाइन बैठे बैठे भी कोई हमें ऐसे हैरास कर सकता है, हम अपने घर में ऑफिस में बैठ के भी काम नहीं कर सकते क्या?
Exactly. And I mean, Lord help my cryptic mind when I came up with that theory late at night. But I mean, it's not just that. I think a lot of times there's a very small hack that I use helps me in the long run. When I know that it's a male who just wants to harass me or is just not with the right mindset to talk to a therapist at all, I redirect them to all the brilliant psychologists out there, specifically males, promoting men's mental health. They would never reach out to them. I have checked.
They never
They've
do.
never received a single call, so you know that you're
Yes.
safe and you just cut the point of contact like that. Nothing bad happened. Everybody's good, happy, and you just skipped all of the trauma.
Exactly. And Akriti, one more thing is that, like you said, no, they will reach out to those male professionals who are working on men's mental health. But what the issue is, those who want to connect with any male, they specifically ask for it. Many of them, when I talk about my initiative, then they say, ma'am, okay, I can't talk to you, you're a female, though you work on this, but can I get some reference of any male therapist? Then I give them the reference and they reach out. I have so many experiences like that also. Those are genuine because, like we say, not every human is same.
Right.
Yeah, there are
Right.
good and bad experiences as well.
See, I think even for a client, one bad experience with a psychologist, we all get bad named.
Yes. This is like, when someone is getting some bad experience and the therapist is like red flag, or they're not that much skilled to, help them out, or, put any techniques in the sessions, or कुछ भी नहीं किया उन्होंने, बस सुना. Sometimes ये होता है issue, right? Many of the males say, ma'am, 4-5 years back, we never reached out after that because हमें लगा सिर्फ सुनना ही तो है इन्होंने, कुछ करते तो है नहीं.
And I think being a founder, I have to be in sales 24/7. So I've sold therapy to a lot of my friends. I've started questioning my friend circle also sometimes. But I'm happy that they're into therapy and everything with me not taking any of the sessions. It's mostly Sanskriti. And the part where one of my friends reached out to a therapist, a female therapist, and at the end of the day, he came and said that, you know what, I think AI helped me way more than any therapist would. This is where we are at, guys.
See?
What? That makes me so angry.
It's a fight with harassers and AI.
Imagine the level of that female therapist.
Guys, is everybody comfortable with me naming certain organization?
Always.
We are.
Always calling out people.
That is why we are with you only, no?
Yeah.
What was that one organization's name, M. Sithana, where they just take interviews, ask all the problems that their therapists are facing, and then they say, we're not going to take you. And
Yeah.
I remember Mano, I honestly don't remember Pura naam, but
Manes-
guys, it starts with, he by chance went to that particular organization and he was super traumatized. I'm not taking a therapist again. But
And we have so many other organizations who are doing it in our scammers list.
guys, one more recent scam that we got within MHP was that people have started sending fake screenshots. It happened once during our summit as well. It happened with one of our psychologists as well, especially for pro bonos. They would send you screenshots. It will show a reference number also. And then they will keep on badgering you for a refund when you haven't even gotten the money. So, I mean, it's easy 100 to 50 rupees for them at this point. But the main topic that we are supposed to address today is about abnormalities and paraphilias. Could you psychoeducate our audience about what exactly uh, says that, this is the disorder and this is when your skills should be put in use?
Yeah, so paraphilias is something very different than just regular harassment clients. So paraphilias can include voyeurism. So when you get aroused by watching someone either naked or having sex or privately, basically. So they get aroused by that. Or there's another one where if you rub against the other person and you get aroused, which you can see in public transport, like in buses, where people will like stand very close to you, try to rub their body against yours. That is harassment, obviously, but it's sexual disorder. And then there's a necrophilia where the person has sexual issues when they're sleeping. Um or yeah, there are many others, but right now what we're talking about in harassment is not a person who has a sexual disorder or diagnosed sexual disorder, but here the person has some personality characteristics that might um, lead them to have that harassment behavior. So, for example, lack of empathy, for one, uh, not thinking about others' feelings or how they might react. Then there is diminished impulse control, so they don't have that right mind where they can control their behavior. When even if they know that it's wrong, um, a sense of inadequacy, maybe inferiority, that also happens. It comes out in this way. A sense of entitlement, mainly in harassment. They feel that they are entitled to getting what they want.
True.
Uh, so these are few of like also this trauma. There's many other possible traits and symptoms that can lead to harassment. So, but there's a very thin line between how you can diagnose a person with a sexual disorder and how to see what's harassment. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, that's very, very true. And one piece of advice I would like to give anyone, I mean, I know females harass as well. And I know I have seen the difference when a female harasses with some sort of vengeance. It's somehow way more dangerous. Lord help my cryptic mind after all serial killer series. But I do know real life cases as well. In either cases, neither a male nor a female should be harassed. But when you go to the cops, especially when we see the scenario in all of the Delhi NCR area, what the cops would try would they'll pressurize you to lie in your statement. I have been in a situation where I was that was outside the psychology settings as well. I think that was sometime before I was supposed to go out to Dubai before my master starts, and one of the acquaintances in my society decided to send me a video with him jerking off, saying that I'm imagining you in certain things, and I don't know what was that, but it was very difficult for me to even just get out of my bed. I stood straight like this, kept my phone away, thinking, looking, staring at a wall. So the cops pressurized me that, what, uh, put in your statement that he touched you without your consent in public, somewhere offline. They forced me that the judge will not accept your statement if you don't put this particular section. They made me lie in front of a judge, and the thing it did in my head, you have no idea. The next day, the very next day, I said that, you know what, this guy has lived in the jail for like 1 week. I think he learned his lesson. He is not, I mean, he was just preparing for MBA, although this guy has been a pedophile. His dad was on my, I don't know, हाथ जोड़कर बैठ गए थे यार uncle, that, you know, was it our fault, this and that. And I just said, you know what, even if this is the right way about putting a complaint, I don't want to lie. I can't ruin someone's life like that. If this case is ever gonna go ahead, it's gonna be on merit. And years later, when we did something, when Sanskriti faced the issues with, I am gonna call that out. It was Aditya Yadav. I am not scared of naming. So at that point of time, I didn't have to, fall in that pressure. Probably because now I am way more adult than I ever was. They couldn't overpower me. So be very careful, because the cops are going to pressurize you, saying that, you know, this will not hold up, that will not hold up, and it's gonna be a mess if you go towards the lying path.
There's so many things wrong with what you just told. Oh my God. The justice system. Very.
But I'm glad that you put this thing out.
Yeah.
That because so many times we do this, you know, like okay, wrong blames or exaggerate them, and that is how we ruin so many innocent people's lives also. And we are not here to get that victim mentality, not at all. We mentioned in our post also, that is why we are touching both the aspects, and we'll try to do it more and more in our next lives also. And I think this has to be out, and people need to know that okay, if you have been harassed, if somebody is doing something inappropriate to you, then you must take action, but don't over exaggerate it. And thank you, Akriti, for sharing that thing with us, so that people should know कि okay, आप जरूरत से ज़्यादा भी नहीं कर सकते हो चीज़ों को.
Yeah, I mean, he harassed me virtually. That's something he should be punished for, but he did not rape me. Why is he being put in whatever punishment for something he did not do?
Right.
So let's have a quick ending, a conclusion towards it. Quickly tell me in 3 points one advice you would like to give the audience, to the budding psychologist, to the professionals being psychologists, psychiatrists, anyone. For
Yeah. Continue.
कर लो पता ही है सबको where we are going.
See, the advisors, if we talk about, one, आपके observation skills बहुत अच्छे हैं, हमें पता है, you have been trained in it, but be a little more vigilant with these kind of cases, with these kind of clients. When some fishy profile connect with you, they DM you, they call you, they reach out to you in inappropriate times, so be very much vigilant about this, because I have been doing it. And I have secured myself by doing this only. And the second thing I want to say is, just make sure you have certain criteria. Like Akriti always say, she is always there for us in our organization. If something inappropriate happened, like suppose if it happened with Sanskriti in that session, then she immediately takes action. Don't delay your actions. Don't delay taking help. Don't delay reporting it. Report it immediately wherever you can. The third thing, very briefly, I want to say is that psychoeducate them. Okay, उनको बताओ, tell them. Maybe after psychoeducating many of them, if I don't say much, many of them will understand. थोड़ा सा उनके mind में ये एक understanding develop होगी that they're doing wrong. Okay, and if you get any, like I am saying now, I have a list of people who do this with female therapists. So I try to reach out to all the females who are connecting with me and tell them, okay, report them, block them. Do that thing. Do prevention more than cure. Because if we, prevent it earlier, then later on we don't see more consequences of it. Like that Aditya, we know, we all have been reporting him and all. So we know these scammers, many of them. So try to report them. One of them is Rahul, which I told you, who did with my training,
I called
and he did with.
him Vicky.
They have many names. I don't know how many people are there. So try to make a list of them and try to report them. Try to reach out to every person in your field and network करते हुए इन चीजों का भी ध्यान रखिए प्लीज, क्योंकि बात करने से बात बनती है, as I always say ना, when you talk about it, then only you will get a solution. अकेले तो हम कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे, right?
Right. Okay, yes, Sanskriti, what are your 3 points for the advice?
Okay, I'll try to keep it to 3. So background check, background check, background check.
And you're
Documentation.
done.
No. Documentation, have everything in written, take screenshots, everything. Akriti and I stalk people a lot, so we are very pro at it. But now, but yeah,
I don't know who you're
definitely.
talking about.
Oh, come on. So, yeah, definitely do a good background check. This goes to both as a client and as a therapist. If you're going to a therapist, see their credentials, do a background check on them. As therapist, do it for your clients. Get a proper intake form, everything. As therapists, another thing is have proper reporting policies. So, if such behavior happens, how to go about it, how to file a report, who to talk to. Um, yeah, as if you are management, then have proper training around such issues, how we can identify and manage harassment. Um, what else? Am I done with 3? Yeah, I'm done with 3. Okay.
Okay, as I give my final piece of experience words, or I wouldn't say it's advice, it's something anyways you should keep in mind. But if you guys have any questions, please type them out while I'm giving you my piece of words. First and foremost, guys, trust your instincts. They can never go wrong in such cases. If you feel uncomfortable in any topic, I know a lot of psychologists who are not comfortable with having clients with LGBTQ. They don't hate them, they don't disrespect them, but they know that they get uncomfortable in this situation. And I mean, I at least understand where they are coming from. It's a lot of stereotypes. So, in that case, they do refer the case to someone who is a good expert in this, who would be able to give a better environment to the people. And I think we should go about the same. The second thing I would like to say is, whenever somebody calls you or DMs you or just reaches out via email or whatever, and they start talking about sex, a lot of time what happens is you straight up think that, you know what, this is not my expertise. And what if he goes out of the boundaries and this and that? You think of the worst case scenario in the first sentence when they say sex. So I would say, close your eyes, take a deep breath, be it 1 or 10, take them and tell yourself, it's okay, you got it. Even if you're not the expert, you are expert enough to understand if it falls in your criteria or not, if it falls in your forte or not. And then you can make a sound decision instead of panicking in that situation, or just making that assumption that it's gonna end up bad. I get it, 90% of the times it's gonna end up bad and you know what to do now. But what if it's not, right? And finally, I would say that don't hesitate to speak up about this. Don't hesitate to speak out about this, and do seek support. If you have gone through any of this and you want to seek any support, please reach out to us. It's not about money for us. We do it pro bono basis. And I don't think so I would like to charge anybody when they need such kind of a support, especially when it comes from our own field. It's like I don't know how to even put it. Dude, I'm there for you. That's like basic human emotion for all of you. Okay, so we have a question. Supposedly, you see a client who can potentially harass you. Would it help to let them know about certain guidelines before the session starts? Yes, actually, as a rule, we always highlight such important things in our confidentiality and informed consent agreement that look, these are the policies, and this is something that will break the confidentiality for you. We do define certain behaviors for them. Depends from one case to another. Whenever they reach out about sex, we do tell them that you cannot be undressed. You have to be dressed well. You cannot use disrespectful language. Even if you're comfortable in Hindi, there is a way of speaking. I think OMG 2 taught us that Hindi is not a very disrespectful language unless you make it so, and so goes for English. And then, of course, they do not have the right to harass us in any ways. So these are certain guidelines. We also do let them know that if you are harm to us or to yourself, in that case the confidentiality will be broken. We will be reaching out to your family and, if necessary, the police. Okay. So I'm guessing there are no more questions. We pretty much went through everything. But thank you, Heena ma'am, Sanskriti ma'am.
Thank you for starting this thing, and thank you for at least creating this space for people like us to talk about it. Because we can't, we have been sharing it over calls and everything in between our team, but now we can talk about it in on this platform, and more people of our field will connect with us in this, because we all have been experienced such things.
Oh, you're welcome. See, guys, if you still want that list where about the guys who are only focused on female therapists, please reach out to Heena ma'am. आपके नाम के आगे डॉक्टर क्यों लगता है मेरे नाम? So please reach out to Heena ma'am. She has a list, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. Hopefully, if we are able to come up with something in depth about things. I was hoping to, focus a little bit on paraphilia and how to go about it. If you'll be interested, please leave us a DM, please leave us a heart, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.